Hi there guys, it's the Disappointing Weeb here, and today I wanted to share with you my manga haul for December 2020. I'm also going to be revealing the giveaway from my November haul, so please stay tuned for that. You'll see behind me there's some gaps in my manga collection, and they're pretty noticeable this month, and that's because I've actually bought quite a lot of manga this month. I think there's about 27 volumes, something like that. So without further ado, let's get into what I've picked up. So first off, we have My Hero Academia volumes 18 and 19. So these just about round off where I'd got to in the anime, to the end of season 4. I really want to like My Hero Academia, I really want to enjoy it, but I'm finding myself more and more bored reading this series. I'm hoping that the people I speak to about My Hero are right, and it's going to really become really good in the next arc, so I'm really looking forward to that. But for me at the minute, I'm really not the biggest fan of the current chapters I'm on. I think I enjoyed them quite a lot when they were in the anime. I think there's something for me about the manga which I'm normally somebody who prefers manga over anime, but I think actually for me there's something about the soundtrack and the action in the anime that really does captivate me in a way that I've struggled with the manga. But hopefully I'll be able to get up to speed in January and I'll get right up to date with it, and then hopefully I'll be enjoying it just as much as everybody else seems to be. Next up is Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1. So I've got all my manga spread out in front of me, so I'm just grabbing whatever seems the most interesting at that point. So I fell in love with the anime, really enjoyed the anime for Jujutsu Kaisen, and I've got to say this manga is phenomenal. The storyline for Jujutsu Kaisen is it's about these Jujutsu fighters who fight against these things called curses. I guess they're sort of similar to Hollows or something like that from Bleach, but they're sort of like demonic forces. And the main character, who is called Yuji, becomes almost possessed by this huge, great, powerful villain called Sukuna. And he does that by eating one of his fingers. And it's now his job to try and collect all 20 fingers of this demon, because he has 4 arms, not 2, and fight off against demons. So that's his main kind of story. Really, really good action series, really enjoying it. I'm going to try and not dwell on series for too long because I've got quite a lot to get through. But that's Jujutsu Kaisen, really enjoy it, I think it's really fab. Next up, we will look at Demon Slayer Volume 18. Demon Slayer, if you already know what it is, I mean, Volume 18 is a bit too late, so I'm not going to go into the storyline. But what I will say is that anime onlys, you've got so much to look forward to in this series. Demon Slayer has been just getting better and better. And we're almost nearing the end in the English version now. I have 18 and not 19 because I've not yet been able to get a hold of 19. We seem to still be quite far behind in the UK. But I've really enjoyed this series and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next. But I don't want to say anything else about it because it'll be spoilers. But really great series. If you've not picked it up yet or watched the anime, what are you doing? You need to watch it. It's so good. Next up, we will look at Sword Art Online Progressive. So I've now finished the Sword Art Online Progressive series. You'll know that there's a giveaway for Sword Art Online Progressive Volume 1, which I'll be doing at the end of this video. But I've got to say, I really have enjoyed this series a lot more than the first series, which I guess it kind of replaces. We've got volumes 5, 6 and 7, which is the entirety of the Sword Art Online Progressive manga. The final arc is really great, and I've got to say, it seems from the first volume, especially for me, that I felt it was going to be just a retelling of the story, but it's an absolute kind of recreation of the story. There's no harem in it. Really enjoyable action adventure series. I've really liked it. Really good series, and I'd say if you were unhappy with the first series of Sword Art Online, this is worth reading. Really good. Along with that is the first volume of Sword Art Online Progressive Barcarolle of Froth, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is sort of the continuation of the Sword Art Online Progressive manga. It's under a different artist, but I really enjoyed this too. Definitely worth having a look at if you are a Sword Art Online fan, or if you were somebody who didn't enjoy the first series and wants to sort of have it fixed. Next up, we will look at Showman Sample. So this is a series I'm trying to finish. I've got volumes 10, 11 and 9 apparently, so they're not in the right order, and volume 9. Really, really funny series. I've spoken about this series quite a lot already, so I'm not going to speak about it too much, but the general gist of it is it's about a guy who's abducted and he is forced to join a school for really, really rich upper class women, which is sort of preparing them for marriage and teaching them the proper way to be upper class women. And he's there as a sample commoner, which is sort of an example of what people are like in the real world. So he'll take them around places like Commoner Land, which is a bit like a Disneyland, but rather than having rides, it's got things in it like an arcade and McDonald's, and they're all thrilled by those kinds of things there. He's also there because the school view him as harmless, because they think that he's gay. He's certainly not gay, but he has to put up this front of kind of being obsessed with muscular men to try and, you know, exemplify that he's really not interested in the women at the school. So that's Showman Sample. Really, really funny series, really worth picking up. Next up, we will look at Dorrar Volume 4. So I picked this up second hand. It's pretty battered and yellow. I've had the first 3 volumes for probably about a decade now, so I just wanted to get it finished. I can't really remember what happened in the story, so I'm going to be rereading it from start to finish. It's only 4 volumes, and I'm hoping that I'm going to really enjoy it. It's done by the same person who created Bakano, which is another really fantastic series. I've watched the anime for both, but I really wanted to read the manga for this too. So I'm really looking forward to reading Volume 4 of Dorrar. Next up, we will look at another series which I'm finishing off. And I've got 6 volumes of this. So this is This a Zombie? It was always known by its Japanese name when it was airing as an anime, which was Kore wa Zombie Desu Ka. So we've got volume 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And 8 was the only one I could find brand new still. I had to buy the rest used. But this is a really funny series about a guy who, it's a long time since I read it, and I'm going to be rereading the first 2 volumes to get back up to speed. But he's a guy who becomes a zombie after getting killed. And then one day in school, he encounters this magical girl armed with a chainsaw who's fighting off, I think, against like a giant lobster or something like that. And she struggles to beat it. I've always kind of thought of it in a similar way to Bleach and Rukia and Ichigo, when Rukia's losing against the Hollow and Ichigo takes her powers. Well, Ayamu, I think he's called, does a similar thing with the main girl in this one. I think it's called Haru, maybe. I think it's something like Haru. And he becomes a undead zombie magical girl. So he kind of has the whole Sailor Moon transformation and gets dressed up in a frilly pink dress. And it's really just a bonkers series. Really, really enjoyable. I can't remember that much about it, but it was something that I definitely wanted to finish off rather than kind of sell on the first 2 volumes. So I bought the 8 volumes and I'm looking forward to reading that over Christmas. So that is This a Zombie? Next up we have Glypha or Glittenia. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this is another series that I watched during one of the anime seasons this year and really fell in love with it. And the manga, I've got to say, is just as good, if not better, than the anime. I've picked up volume 5, 6, and 7 of this series. And in volume 7, we finally start to diverge away from the anime. And this is a story about people who gain kind of superhuman powers, and they're all tasked with collecting these coins. And then when they get 100 of the coins, I think they can wish for anything they want or something like that, or they become unbelievably powerful. So it's sort of a mixture between kind of like a battle royale, where they're all killing each other so they can have less competition for getting the coins as well. Really, really fun series, really dark, but really, really good if you're looking for something a bit more seriously, a bit more of a kind of a shonen with a dark twist to it. Really enjoyable series. Really enjoyed Glittenia, and I'll be collecting this and hopefully finishing it next year. Next up, we have Fly Me to the Moon Volume 2. This is a series that was airing this season. I watched the last episode of this series last night. And this is done by the same person that made Hayate the Combat Buller. It's about a couple who get married before they know anything about each other. And the whole story kind of focuses on them getting to know each other and having the awkwardness of a new couple while also being married. It's a very cute series, probably the most wholesome series I've ever read in my life. Really, really enjoyable. And if you're looking for something that's just kind of a heartwarming, fuzzy comedy series, this is probably the right one for you. And that's Fly Me to the Moon. Next up, we have a K-On! Manga that I didn't think I was going to be getting anytime soon. If you watch my I can't get these manga videos, you'll have seen that I said these are really hard to get a hold of. But I managed to get a hold of K-On! High School. This is the story of the light music club after the main 4 girls have graduated. So Azusa is left to lead the group, and she's joined by Yui's younger sister, Yui's younger sister's friend, and 2 first years who are on the back here. I'm glad I've got it. I'm glad I've got it as a collector, somebody who loves K-On!, but it wasn't very good. At least I didn't think it was that good. It's only a small, thin volume, and it felt like it took a long time to get through. I think something like K-On!, the charm of it is the music, and unfortunately in the manga the music isn't there, so it was okay, but it wasn't great. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend paying more than RRP for it, but I'm glad I've got it because I can add it into my collection. Next up is something which is probably my favourite read this month, and that is this series by Naoki Urasawa, who's the author of things like Monster. I've never read any of their work before, and I really, really enjoyed this. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. It's called Mujirushi, and it is not very highly rated on Mal. I think it's only a 6 point something, and I really thought it was phenomenal. I think I gave it like a 9. It's a story about a family who are straddled with debt. Eventually the wife in the family runs away, and the father decides he's going to make all of his money by producing Donald Trump masks. They don't call them Donald Trump, the presidential candidate. They changed the name, but it's heavily implied it's Donald Trump. They don't sell, so the family left with even more debts, and it's just the father and the daughter alone. And they run into this really peculiar guy who's obsessed with France, or La France as he calls it. And he offers them a task to do to help them get out of debt. I don't really want to go very much further into the story because it is spoiler territory, but it's really, really, really phenomenal, really wonderful. I'll just read you the 3 lines on the back as the only thing I'm going to share with you. One family, one painting, one mysterious individual. As I said, this was my first Naoki Urasawa manga, and I'm definitely going to be picking up Monster after this because I really, really enjoyed this. If there was anything in all of these books I was going to say is worth picking up, I would say it's this one. So we're down to my last few series now. Second to last series I want to talk about is Rent a Girlfriend Volume 4. So the story is about a guy who loses his girlfriend, and then to get over it he rents a girl called Chizuru, who's not this girl here. It's this girl here, that's Chizuru. And the whole story is centred around kind of their relationship, where they're not really boyfriend and girlfriend, but they put on the act that they are, and all the kind of miscommunications and misconceptions that come with that. It's a funny series, but it can also be very wholesome, can be very tense, carries a lot of emotion in it. I've really enjoyed Rent a Girlfriend. I think the art is really phenomenal. I think I said last month, one of the really nice things about this is the characters, apart from perhaps the main character who wears the same clothes quite often, the women in it always seem to be wearing different clothes on different days, and I think that the artist must have taken some note to real fashion magazines, because the characters are so much better dressed in this than most anime and manga that I do consume. But it's a really great series, really enjoyable. I've really enjoyed reading it up to now, and I'm looking forward to Volume 5. Next up is the Madika Omnibus Edition, the full series collected into one omnibus. I couldn't find the final volume of Madika to complete my series. I had the first 2, but not the final one. Finally able to read the end. It didn't disappoint me. I thought it was really good. The art's really nice. And saying that, now I do have the omnibus edition. I don't need these 2 volumes anymore. So my plan is that the next haul video that I do after I reach 100 subscribers, I'll give these away. Or I'll let the person, if they don't want these, have a £10 Amazon gift card or something like that. I've got a few of those. Because of course this month I am giving away manga. I'm giving away this volume of Sword Art Online Progressive, Volume 1. And I'm giving this away to somebody who recommended some manga to me in my November manga video. Now, the series I decided to go with from that video is this one, Goodnight Pum Pum. And I had 2 separate people recommend this to me in my comment section. So I'm going to randomly pick one of those people. So 2 people suggested Goodnight Pun Pun for me. So what I've done is I've put the video link into a random comment selector, filter comments based on specific text. I put the word Pun Pun. So there should be 2 comments. It says yes, amount of commenters 2. So we're going to click Start Randful and pick a random winner. And it's going to be Valerie. Okay, so Valerie, thank you for suggesting Goodnight Pun Pun for me. Thank you too to the other person who suggested it. Please don't feel too discouraged. Please enter again, and hopefully in my next video I do a giveaway, you might win. But Valerie, please do get in touch with me on Instagram, and I will get Sword Art Online shipped off to you as soon as I can. If I don't hear back from Valerie within 3 days, the other person who suggested it, this will be yours, so I will get in touch with you instead. But Valerie, please do get in touch with me, and I will send you your copy of Sword Art Online Progressive Volume 1. So, I hope you enjoyed this haul. Have you picked anything up this month? Please tell me what it is. If you've enjoyed this video and you would like to be a chance of winning Madika Volume 1 and 2, please subscribe. As soon as I hit 100 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway for these in the next haul video I do. But until then, I've been the Disappointing Weeb, and I will see you next time.